We need to talk about something that everybody feels but nobody knows how to articulate. And it's this. Why do so many homes these days just feel off? They're not necessarily ugly or poorly decorated, they just feel hollow. You walk into a brand new house, there's fresh paint, a big kitchen island, and somehow it feels less warm than an 80s split level home with popcorn ceilings. And you think, maybe it just needs better decor, right? But no, that's not actually the problem. The problem is structural. If you don't know, my name is Cooper, and of course today we're going to be talking about builder grade homes. Specifically, the builder grade homes booming right now in America. Whether it's a high rise building, a McMansion, or a modern farmhouse, there's just something about them that feels off. In a lot of my videos, I talk about how designer homes look better because designers have a different mindset. And this is kind of the other side of that coin. Builder grade homes don't feel good to be in because they weren't designed to feel good in the first place. They were designed to be fast, they were designed to be cheap, photograph well, and sell quickly. And that's pretty much it. Basically, it's all about the transaction and has nothing to do with the experience of actually living there. Okay, so let's start somewhere that people never think about. Ceilings. Most builder grade homes have 8 to 9 foot ceilings that have zero architectural articulation. So they're basically just flat. In older homes, we see a lot more architecture. We see ceiling beams, we see crown molding, drops, and coffers. But in these new build homes, all we see is drywall meeting drywall. And you might be saying, Cooper, is that really a big deal? Well, in good architecture, ceilings create an element of compression and release. Some areas of the home are meant to feel intimate, and some are supposed to feel expansive. And that contrast kind of creates this nice rhythm when you move throughout a home. Not every single room feels the same aesthetically and architecturally, but it fits into the same umbrella. But builder grade homes eliminate that rhythm. Everything starts to feel the same exact height, the same exact volume, and the same exact energy, and it kind of just feels like a hollow home. And if you're living in a space like that, it does affect your body and the way that you think. Because when a space starts to feel visually monotonous, it starts to feel lifeless. It doesn't feel like a person actually lives there, and it just feels like another rental unit. Another big issue here is the windows in these types of homes. Builder grade windows are almost always too small, they're set too low, they're trimmed with a really thin casing, and there's just no depth to them at all. Let's put a side by side next to my head. On this side, we have a builder grade home window, right? We see the thin casing, it's not very interesting to look at, it just feels super standard. But now on this side, we're going to show, an older home. You can see that the casings are a little bit more thick, they have a level of craftsmanship and detail that the other just lacks. Now imagine yourself living in a home, right? And all of the windows look like the builder grade one. Now imagine the opposite, and all of the windows look like the older home windows. Which home would you rather live in? Because I think I would prefer to live in the one with more craftsmanship. And when your windows start to become just these vinyl rectangles pushed into the drywall, there aren't any shadows cast off of it. And one thing about shadows is they make the space feel rich. Not necessarily monetarily, but rich in depth. Think about it like this. Flat architecture is going to equal flat feeling. Now I want to talk about something that might be a little bit more psychological. Yes, I'm getting psychological on you guys again, but I think it's pretty important and relevant to this topic. Builder grade walls are almost always a blank drywall. They usually don't have paneling or molding, and when they do, it just feels really cheaply done, and they just feel like massive beige voids. So, what do people usually do with that, right? They'll hang a small piece of artwork, and then they wonder, oh, why do my walls look a little bit off and empty? And no, it's not necessarily the artwork that you have. The problem is that the architecture is giving you no visual framework. In designer homes and well-built older homes, there's a lot of work that the walls do design-wise. But in builder homes, you don't have that kind of foundation to build off of, and pretty much the furniture and decor has to carry the entire space. And that imbalance is why it always starts to feel like there's something missing in these spaces. Now we need to talk about the biggest offender here: recessed lighting. Builder grade homes love a can light. They have them all over the place. Sometimes it's like actually insane, but basically they're there because they're cheap, they're easy to install, and they're neutral and flat. And I'm not necessarily anti-overhead lighting. I know that's kind of a controversial take, but when it comes to spaces that have these kind of like airplane runways of lighting on their ceiling, it's just not okay. And when you have lighting like this, it is ultimately going to flatten the space, it's going to kill any kind of contrast, and it removes the drama from any of the lighting that's already been placed in the space. And I know I've said it a million times, but I will say it until I die, and that is, if you're going to do anything, You must layer your lighting. You need to have ambient lighting, you need to have task lighting, you need to have accent lighting. Builder grade homes very often blast this 5000 Kelvin blue light from the ceiling and call it modern. But it's not modern at the end of the day, it's just clinical. And your brain can definitely tell the difference there. So if you're gonna do anything, swap out your lights to something that's going to be under 3000 kelvins. Okay, so what do all of these things tell us? Builder grade homes basically are removing any kind of hierarchy to begin with. Everything has the same trim, the same paint, the same baseboard, the same door height, and the same cabinet style. And when everything is equal in that way, nothing feels important in the space. And hierarchy is what is going to make a space feel intentional. Without it, your home is just going to feel like a blank template. And the really upsetting part about all of this is that people blame themselves and think, oh, I'm just bad at decorating, that's why my space feels really off. No, you're actually not. You're trying to design inside of a system that was meant to feel neutral, fast, and cheap. It's basically like you're trying to create atmosphere within a drywall box. And of course, that's going to be harder. I'm not going to be negative this entire time. I'm going to give you guys solutions if you live in one of these spaces. I've lived in many of these spaces in my life, so I get it. But let's talk about some solutions here. What are you supposed to do if you live in a drywall box? No, you're not going to have to tear down your walls or install crown molding. You need to introduce an illusion of architecture. Like we were talking about before, there is no architectural grounds for your furniture to stand on. So we need to almost overcompensate in that area. And the first place to start is to add some visual depth to your walls. You could do this with a huge piece of art, some lime wash paint, a Venetian plaster finish, or something like a large scale mural. And why? Because depth creates shadow, shadow creates richness, and richness creates warmth, and flat drywall is the enemy. Next, you're going to want to have at least one oversized piece per room. And I know that sounds like kind of a lot, but when you have so many smaller pieces scattered throughout a room, things tend to feel really disjointed, especially if you live in an open concept interior. You're going to need at least one large piece of art, one super bold furniture piece like a striped sofa, and one substantial rug. I would say probably the rug is going to be your best bet. Builder homes are going to need this kind of scale and interest to fight the blankness, and small decor is just going to disappear against a large piece of drywall. Like I said before, you do not need to replace trim or mess with any of that, but there are a couple things that you can do to your walls that are a little bit more structural that can really enhance the architecture of the space. The first being is to paint the room. And no, I'm not talking about painting just the drywall and leaving all the trim white. I'm talking about painting your drywall, a deep kind of beige, and then painting all of your trim and doors a deep dark brown. When you do this, you can add an element of history to your space. There are a ton of paint companies out there that have historic color collections that are basically just catalogs of all the paint colors that were used, previously in older homes. This is going to be a great source for anybody who's looking to paint their builder grade home to bring in that natural element. Even if it's just as small as painting a pure white room, a softer cream color. I know it feels a little bit frivolous, but it's definitely worth it. The next thing that you can do is add in some window treatments. I love a window treatment. I love using them in all of my clients' homes, especially floor-to-ceiling drapes for people who live in builder-grade spaces. Adding tall curtains that are going to stretch from floor to ceiling is going to create a vertical emphasis in the room, which will immediately raise those ceilings up a little bit more and make the space feel a little bit more lofty and open rather than just kind of like one really long, low ceiling room. And when it comes to furniture in these spaces, you guys cannot be matching everything. I know how tempting it is. I know you want to go to Bob's Furniture or Ashley Home Store and buy that matching bedroom set or that matching sofa set and call it a day because it's so much easier that way. But you are going to hate your space if you do that. Please, this is the worst thing that you can do. This is the biggest way you can waste your money. It is going to look bad because if you have matching furniture, you're not going to be combating the matchy-matchy kind of architecture that builder grade homes have. When they build these spaces, they are just meant to be linear. So they give them matching cabinets, matching railings, matching finishes, and there's nothing to break it up, and so it just feels so flat. You need to break it up with the furniture pieces you're going to incorporate because contrast is ultimately going to create hierarchy, and hierarchy is what feeds good design. Builder grade homes aren't necessarily a lost cause. Unfortunately, they're optimized for speed and resale, but you are not a resale value. You are a human being who's living inside that space. The goal is not to make it photograph well for Zillow. The goal is to make it feel dimensional, layered, and intentional. And once you stop blaming your own home decor and start understanding the architecture and the different ways you can go about combating it, you will bring your space to a new level of design that you might not even thought it could get to. And once you get to that place, your home is going to stop feeling hollow and it will start to feel like yours. If this video helped you at all, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you here on YouTube. We have such a great community going. And if you're really struggling with a space in your home, don't forget, this is literally what I do for a living. YouTube is not my full-time job. I'm an interior decorator. I offer both full-service design as well as per-room consulting sessions where we can create a plan for your space to take it to that next level. There's a ton of really great information about it on my website, and click the link in the description to book your first consultation. As you know, I am here every single Thursday and Sunday at 6 a.m. PST, so I will see you guys very, very soon.